Yo, what is good, gamers? It's your boy Tom Zuri hitting with that deep voice. You know what I'm saying? Lustrous and shit. Anyways, welcome to another episode 95 of the weekly patch notes brought to you by X to Skip. Like I said, I'm Tom Ziri, your boy, your man, your guy. And with me, I got Kid Kojo. What's good, fam?
Helen, how you doing?
I'm good, bro. Hella exhausted. Yo, what a week. But yeah, man, we know we out here doing the things as always. This time around, we don't have Max. He's fighting off a sickness, but he'll be good and ready, hopefully, by next week. And yeah, not much else to it, you know what I'm saying? But if you guys are new to the show, stick around for some good gaming tidbits, as we always give every single week. To those day ones, welcome back again to another episode. And if you still haven't by now, please do like and subscribe. And or not, listen to the show, see how you like it, if you like it, all that type of stuff and everything. But without wasting any more time, before we get started, do you have any admin, Kojo?
Nah.
All right. For me, the new No Man's Sky expedition is out. So the only admin I have is that I need to do some admin and make sure I get started on the expedition. So yeah, whether or not I'm going to make content on it, I don't know. Thing about expeditions is I usually like to take my own time because I want to explore the story, this and this. And farming just generally isn't nice for people to watch. So I'm going to figure things out. Don't worry. But again, for those of you who are new to the show, we do also stream every Sunday, 10 p.m. SAST, South African Standard Time. So yeah, be keen to pull in for that. We might be doing some of the expedition. So do look out on our Twitch channel as well as our YouTube to see in case you miss it. Or we just might be messing around on some Elite Dangerous, but like I said, we'll see how things go. So yeah, that's the only update I have from my side. Anyways, leading into the gaming news, Kodri, do you have any gaming news, bro?
A couple.
Hit us up.
So the first one is, Tommy, are you familiar with Hi-Rez Studios?
Yo, I hate to say that I am, but yeah, Smite 2.
Yeah, do you know what's happening with Hi-Rez Studios?
Layoffs or shutting down?
Both. Well, not shutting down.
Whoa, both? Oh, okay.
Layoffs, and there is shutdowns, but not of the studio. I'll explain.
Okay, cool. So,
unfortunately, layoffs again. Hi-Rez Studios, as Tommy said, are behind the upcoming Smite 2. They're also behind Smite, Paladins, and Rogue Company. And unfortunately, they are seeing a reduction in their workforce as they posted a statement out on social media. They pretty much said, they're streamlining their operations, which basically is PR speak for we're laying people off. So they're laying people off across their studios or across their teams at Rally here, Evil Mojo Games, and Titan Forge Games divisions. And the kicker is this, Tommy. So,
yeah,
they're ending development on Smite 1, Paladins, and Rogue Company. They said no more updates are coming from this game, no more updates are planned, but they will keep servers up. However, you're in luck, Tommy, because they said that now their full focus is on Smite 2.
Wait, what? Okay.
You have any questions?
No, I'm just trying to take it all in. Continue.
That's pretty much it for the Hi-Rez stuff. Yeah.
I mean, look, with what's it? You said the name of the game, Rogue
Company.
Yeah, that's. I mean, there was a time where, long time ago, I was starting to see like hectically long queue times. Even with like Smite 2, everything was so hyped. I obviously only played the beta. Well, I think all that is out with Smite 2 is just the beta. And there's really like a lot of changes that just should not have come into Smite 2 that, is still not even fixed in normal Smite. So I was kind of getting like the sense that I don't know if the devs are proactively choosing to not do anything, but now that you brought this out, it makes sense.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, man, but
it is what it is, man.
Yeah, it is. So on to lighter news, hopefully. Moving on to the next bit of news, the last one that I have is the big one of the past week, is that Sony held their States of Play event, and I'm not sure if you got a chance to catch it. It was at demon hours. I was not doing anything with my life, so I watched it. Not sure if you watched any highlights, Tommy.
Nah, I had a busy day at work, so I'll definitely check it out though after this.
Yeah, no worries. You can just go watch because there's just trailers back to back to back. So you can just look at, you can go onto the PlayStation blog and just look at the games that interest you and watch the trailers of the ones that interest you. You don't have to sit through the whole 47-minute presentation.
I bet.
And so they announced a lot of stuff. I'm not going to go through all of it, but you guys can check. There are a lot of websites and the PlayStation blog itself that I've posted out the games and the announcements that they showed off, but I'll just go through a few big ones. So we knew that Borderlands 4 was coming, but we now have a launch date, and that is September 23rd, 2025. And then we have another update for a game called Lost Soul Aside, which has been in development for a long time. We finally have a release date for that. It comes out on PC and PS5 May 30th, 2025. And then we also have another update for a game called Hell Is Us. We also got a release date for September 4th, 2025. And then we also got news that there's going to be some Lies of P DLC called Lies of P Overture. And it looks to be very, very interesting. We also got a new look at Mind's Eye, which has been quiet for a long time. I'm glad we got to see Mind's Eye. It is developed by a studio called Build a Rocket Boy, which is a new studio headed up by Leslie Benzies, who you might not know his name, but you know his work because he is one of the minds behind the Grand Theft Auto series. He left, I think, in 2020 to form his own studio, Build a Rocket Boy, and now they're working on Mind's Eye, which is their cinematic single-player action adventure game. So that looks pretty cool. Can't wait to see that one. We got a new look at Onimusha, which is coming out 2026, Onimusha Way of the Sword. And the last one I'm going to talk about is the game that ended the show, which was a PlayStation Studios game coming from Housemarque called Saros. So if you played Returnal, it looks to be that vibe, but they look to be amping it up in every single way. So they said that this is a combination of, what they learned from Returnal plus new ideas coming out. So I'm interested to see some of these games. There are a lot of games coming out this year and next year. So Saros has a tentative release date for 2026. So the Lies of P DLC, there's no release date for that yet. So yeah, but I think it is coming out this year. So that is it for the state of play, and that is it for my news. Tell me, what about you?
Updates with regards to gaming news. Don't really have much, but the one news with games that I just wanted to... Okay, well, I'm sure by now everyone should know the state of what's happening with most battle royales. Something interesting that I did see with regards to... Have you checked out or heard of the game Off the Grid? I'm sure you've seen it somewhere in adverts and all this on TikTok shorts and whatnot.
I've seen a lot of streamers play it, from Scamp to Shroud. I think dabbled in it. Yeah,
so one of the streamers that I watch, Westy, he usually pretty much covers a lot of battle royale games, and something that he did mention was with regards to the state of battle royales. And something that he touched upon was very interesting in the sense that, especially because of Off the Grid, in how, we've known this since, I don't actually know what the first battle royale was. I want to say PUBG.
No, people link it back to DayZ type vibes.
Yeah, but those were mods, you get me? Those were, DayZ, H1. What is it, H1?
Yeah, H1Z1.
Yeah, H1Z1 and all that, you see. So those were mods back in the days. And then obviously by the time PUBG came out, I think straight after that, we started seeing Fortnite, we started seeing Apex, Call of Duty, that has been running longer than all of those games aforementioned. Also started to create theirs, I think, in Advanced Warfare or in one of the Black Ops games. But anyways, the point is why people are so pissed off about Off the Grid, though it's 50-50, 50% negative, 50% positive in terms of ratings. But playing the game, and I think I only played one round, so I can't really fully judge, but I felt it the moment I started playing, is you get to the certain points whereby games nowadays just seem to be copying everything from one another to a point where only like 1%, well, 1 to 10% of the game is completely unique to just the developers of that game. Take Marvel Rivals, for example. Yes, it's not a battle royale, but I'm just trying to liken it to, you know, the likes of Overwatch, Paladins, and all that. Where I think of all the games that try to copy Overwatch, Paladins is more unique in a sense, because the same way that you would just have, you know, in terms of battle royales, coming back to it, in terms of battle royales, the same way that you would have the usual ingredients of, okay, you dive in, you hop in, whatever, you spawn, whatever it is, and you get armor, guns, this and this and this, you try to be the best out of everyone. It's the issue that comes with it is when you try to go too far away from the realism of it. And I think that's what's killing the battle royale thing as a whole. Nowadays, you look at the likes of Fortnite, and most people, what they care about in Fortnite, I don't even think is about, you know, winning anymore. It's about getting skins. It's about finishing any mission that, you know, the events come out with. The same with Apex. It's just about the skins. The map doesn't really change. Though it's going to bring certain points of interest, you will probably know that entire map full through like within a day. Just play a few games and you will land at these certain places. And, you know, the formula just doesn't change. What needs to change then is your gameplay. And then obviously you get all these people introducing new battle royales that are going to come with new powers, abilities, this and this and this, taking away from the realism of it all, like PUBG had done, as well as H1Z1 as well. So the thing about Westy, what it was basically saying is that, you know, you eventually going to start seeing a lot of people, and not just for battle royales, but a lot of people resigning from certain games as a whole, which I'm also going to tie this into the World of Warcraft OnlyFangs drama that happened when we get to the content creator side. But it's interesting to me because it's gotten to a point, bro, where like I'm even finding myself playing games purely just for story now. Like I'm heading straight into single player life once again. I haven't fully delved into it in such a very long time, because I see what all of these communities as well as all these devs are starting to do with all their games. It's just remixing, you know, an already made ingredient. Same way like in the music industry and all this. So I guess the crux of why I'm bringing this up in the first place is just to say that like Off the Grid to me was a prime example of like English. I think I'm officially done with battle royales, like specifically with regards to MOBAs. I mean, look, I'm still gonna play League, but only because League at this point is like second nature to me. Fortnite I'm only gonna play because of the skins and the emotes, as well as that whole jam session that you can also do. So it's coming to a point of like, I just want to now play games literally just to play a game. I don't want to sweat. I don't want to this. I don't want to that. And the moment a game just feels like another game, I'm probably going to meet it with severe negativity from the get-go. So yeah, I mean, it is just sad. I really wish we could start going back to the days of very unique games, but I only seem to find that in single player. But yeah, that's my only gaming news. Is if you guys who are listening to this have played Off the Grid and you think it's nice, sell it to me, bruh. Better sell it to me, better, because it also doesn't help that these games come out for free, and then there's just the only way to truly enjoy it is to actually buy cosmetics and all this with real money, and it's just yeah. But that's all I have for gaming news. Moving on to the gaming corner. Are there any interesting releases?
It's been a barren week. There are two that are standing out, and the first one is for you, Tammy.
Oh, okay.
It is your long-awaited Civilization 7.
For me, when I tell you, Ned, that I want a budget for this game so bad. Like, I didn't even buy Civ 6. I didn't buy it. At some points. Yeah. So, you know, I'm going to wait for Civ 7 to also come for free. The only problem is
Bruh.
I need to try avoid so many. Like, I want to see how the game is. I'm sure not much has changed of it, but I kind of don't want to see how it is yet, because I actually want to be surprised and amazed. But yeah, sorry, as you were.
No, I was going to say, I think you're better off waiting for a sale than waiting for it to go for free, because it's going to take years before you see it for free.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, but just budget for it on a sale, maybe, because unfortunately, critics have given it an 80 on Metacritic. It comes out on PC, PS5, PS4, Xbox Series, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch. It's a strategy game, 4-time strategy game, and it came out on February 11th, 2025. And as I said, critics gave it an 80 on Metacritic. However, it's got a low score from users because apparently it is plagued with technical issues.
Oh no, you see, this is why I avoided media on it. But anyways, yeah.
Yeah, this is why you don't buy games at launch.
We've all learned that lesson.
Yep. And people haven't, actually. So people are still... And not only did they buy it at launch, but people bought early access. So, yeah. But anyway, and the next and last game that really came out was The Legend of Heroes Trails Through Daybreak, PC, PS5, PS4, Nintendo Switch. It's an RPG, came out on February 14th, 2025, currently sitting at a 77 on Metacritic. And yeah, that is it for the releases of the week in the Gaming Corner. Throwing it over to you.
Oh wait, bro. Yeah, I don't have anything else that was released that's pretty well, besides No Man's Sky Expedition, but yeah, that's pretty much it. All right. Well, that brings us to the halfway point. If you guys are enjoying this so far, please do leave a like and subscribe. It helps us to give more content to you. Anyways, moving on to the content creator side. So like I said, I'm not going to mention anything else on the content creator side. I mean, a lot of stuff has been meh, but the biggest thing for me was, I don't want to say it's the death to OnlyFangs. So I'm saying OnlyFangs for those of you who do not know what this is about. So OnlyFangs was started by Soda Poppin and Quinn69, as whereby they wanted to make a guild on a private server for World of Warcraft Classic. Again, for those who don't know the game of World of Warcraft, you know, MMORPG, massively big. It's one of the most famous household names. If you don't know it, then you're probably born 2010 onwards. But yeah, this game comes with very difficult, you know, things here and there, depending on what you're playing, whether you're playing retail or classic. Classic is basically going back to what the game was like, you know, after its release in 2004. And they were playing hardcore mode. Hardcore mode basically meaning that if you die, that's it. You can't be resurrected, even if you have a priest that's a teammate of yours and they have a resurrection spell. You can't bring people back to life. Once you're dead, you're dead. You create a new character. You grind from the scratch, right? So it's always just an interesting thing for people to take on as a challenge whenever they play hardcore. So then streamers alike who have all played World of Warcraft and, you know, pretty much love the game, all banded together to start a private server and create a guild called OnlyFangs. So there were so many. I don't have the exact numbers because that's not the point of why I'm raising this. But this has been going on, I think, since November of last year, of 2024, because it gave people enough time to level up from level 1 to level 60. Some have died and created new characters, this and this and this, but it's only started to really truly pick up round about Jan, as well as coming into February, because most of the players and streamers were now max level, starting to do, you know, very intense raids. So a raid will consist of a team of up to 20 people, or 25 people. So, you know, it's a very serious thing. And again, if you die, that's it, you know, so you really have to coordinate how you're going to attack certain bosses. Many different bosses have many different mechanics, right? I think that's enough of a brief for now. But anyways, so it came to a point whereby they needed to do the Flaming Citadel. I think that's what, no? It's one of the ones where you fight Ragnarok, the flame god in the game. He's one of the biggest bosses from vanilla. But anyways, in fighting him or doing the raid for it, they didn't even get to the final boss, right? So what had happened was they had chosen Tyler 1, lol Tyler 1, who for most people, we all know him as a League of Legends streamer and a very buff, bald-headed dude, always raging, always, Giga Chad type vibes. He was going to be a raid leader. Now, Mizkif, the likes of, even Soda Poppin, who's running the entire server, was just like, this is going to be hilarious, because the thing about lol Tyler 1, right? He brings a lot of energy, a lot of smackbacks and all of this. So he's perfect in terms of content. He's perfect to be the person who does the raid leading, giving all the strategies, this and this and this. Now, there were a lot of players that had issues with him being the leader. Another interesting side note is, if you guys know who Pirate Software is, go check his drama around, being an OnlyFangs, whereby he knew a certain mechanic of a certain boss was going to do immense damage, and his team just kept fighting on, truly believing that they were going to win. But most of his team had already died, and he was just not looking into putting all that time into leveling up a new character again. So he decided to run away, and the rest of his team died. A lot of people blamed him for it, saying he was a massive cop-out, and they kicked him out of the server as a whole. Right? So a lot of people had a whole lot of drama with regards to that. We also saw some other streamers as well who were taking on pretty hectic raids and purposefully nuking their team or not doing something correct in terms of the mechanics as well as the guidance of their raid leader. And that specific streamer, can't remember his name, even when he had done that and sabotaged his team, off camera, well, off stream, but on his own personal content, he said he did it on purpose only because he was tired of grinding the same game for the last 4 months. And I kind of agree with that, to be honest. So now coming into this whole story where Tyler 1 was raiding one of the biggest raids in Classic WoW, yeah, you can tell that Tyler really took things very personally. I mean, you can even go see the video that he had put out saying why he quit OnlyFangs, this and this and this. He swore off his entire team that he led. Purely because they just weren't following mechanics and they were just scared. It got to a point whereby if you keep playing hardcore mode on World of Warcraft, you will get to a certain point whereby you're too scared to die because you don't want to go through the whole grind again, right? And so we all understand that, but at the end of the day, you put yourself in your digital character's shoes. Like, you are going to fight a flaming boss, even if this were like, okay, well, hypothetically speaking, even if you were your character, like if it was like real life or some shit, like, you've come this far, so you may as well just test your limits. Now, granted, many people were sitting on the fence of this, like saying, no, it should have been adhered to, that so many people were actually getting debuffs and certain things casted onto them from the boss, that if it had to, for example, the boss would put out something called Living Bomb. What that basically means is that after a few seconds, you are going to release an explosion from yourself, which is going to damage you and anyone else around you. Now, a lot of people were getting this Living Bomb on them, but what they were not doing was moving away from the rest of the party. And so when their Living Bombs were going off, it was killing the whole entire party of 25. No healer in the group could out-heal the amount of damage that was being done. And the thing is, there's certain ways to mitigate this damage, like I said, by running away from the group and then coming back to fight once that debuff is off of you, or do not get hit by it, because the boss will certainly target you. But then, it's the thing of like, okay, once the boss targets you and you see Living Bomb is about to come up, hit a counter spell, hit this, hit that, do something to not get that thing on you. But ultimately, if you do get it on you, run away. So many people were not doing that. Tyler was doing the best that he could to tell people to move away and, for the healers to just focus on healing him, right? Everything was going okay up until a certain point. Some streamers, once again, were sabotaging the whole entire thing purely because they were feeling the burnout of having to do World of Warcraft hardcore for so long. Now, the difference between the difference between classic WoW and retail. Retail is what we just call the most up-to-date World of Warcraft that everyone plays nowadays. Is there's so many new things that have now been added in. Remember, like, this game came out in 2004. Back then, there were so many things that you could not do that you can do now in retail. And most of the people who play World of Warcraft play retail, and they're used to these changes. They're used to how the game is now. Going back to how it was back then, I would also be pissed off if I had died. I would probably also just be like, you know what? I've played this game for 4 months on just one character, grinding the shit out of this, of just making content. I'm also tired. I could not make content on the same game for that long. I think even when I was streaming under Logitech way back in the days, I would still switch it up because I don't want to burn out so quickly. Now imagine these oaks have been playing for so long non-stop, just trying to grind. And another thing about World of Warcraft Classic is that the experience points that you get after every quest, dungeon, and all of this is so little. Whereas in retail, dude, you just do one of these raids or dungeons, fam, you're gonna like level up 10 times just once. So it just shows a stark difference. Now, again, go watch Lol Tyler One's video on his take about that raid. Go watch Soda Poppin'. Go watch this, because Soda Poppin' then alluded to that raid was the number one thing that was going to kill OnlyFangs and everything that all of these streamers had gathered up to do. A lot of people said they're not going to come back. They're not going to do something like this ever again, even if it's a streamathon. But some of them did come back and they wanted to do it. But this time they don't want to do it under the rules of OnlyFangs or Soda Poppin'. So Lol Tyler One, after he had his outrage and swore that he would never come back to doing this, he did come back, but only on the accounts that his baby mama Michaela as well as E-Rob would join him. And honestly speaking, the content is even funnier because they're in there. Those are the types of people, if you know the whole content side of, you know, OTK and many other peeps, they're just funny people, period. So yeah, anyways, that's pretty much it for the OnlyFangs. The reason why I brought this up is because as a World of Warcraft veteran, this is something that I pretty much loved seeing, because I missed the days of playing World of Warcraft Classic. I think I was 9 years old in 2004. Yeah, I was 9 years old in 2004. So when World of Warcraft was released, I was just, you know, I was just an anime person who had watched a lot of Hack Legend of Twilight. Axel World wasn't even out yet. But, you know, all those types of games where you pretty much, it's all about, you know, all those type of isekai anime. Now you get World of Warcraft, and of course I was ecstatic and excited to play that, and I've been playing it ever since. But will I ever go back to playing Classic? Never. Will I ever play Hardcore? Not a chance. So yeah, that's pretty much it on the content creator side for me. Like I said, there were other stuff that did happen, but it's the usual people, which I'm not really, I'm just meh about it, you know. iShowSpeed did some shit. Kai Cenat, you know, he was at the Grammys. We saw how that shit went down. Yeah, not much has changed there. Any content creator news from you, Kojo?
No, not for me, but I just want to add one thing to what you said. I don't follow WoW, monthly fee and all that.
Yeah.
But even I heard about the pirate software thing. That was wild.
Bro. That
whole thing, everybody calling him a roach. Everybody's saying he roached out. Everybody's saying he's this, he's that. He didn't take accountability for his actions. That's why I feel like that's why the thing blew up bigger than it did. I feel like if he came out and said, "Okay, guys, I played badly. I could have done this. I apologize, blah blah blah," it wouldn't have become as big as it is for people to go through streams sending death threats.
Over a game, my guy. Over a game.
Yeah. But anyway, I just wanted to add that. So no content creator thing from me.
Oh yeah. Well then, moving on to the esports side. So we have an update. We have finally done Group A and Group B in terms of the World of Warcraft Mythic Dungeon Invitational. once again, for those of you who don't know what that is, World of Warcraft, every time they release a new set of dungeons for every expansion that they release, for every World of Warcraft season of the year, big guilds form together to try compete against who can complete all these dungeons faster than, other teams and guilds. So now this I obviously love because it's WoW retail, it's not classic. So it's always interesting to see some of these dungeons be run in like 11 minutes when if I had to try do it, it will probably take me up until an hour. And in any case, a World of Warcraft dungeon, especially a mythic. So mythic is just a level of difficulty basically. That goes beyond hard. So you have like normal dungeons, which I mean, a 6-year-old child could complete with a team. Then you have heroic dungeons, which is just a step up in terms of difficulty. Then you have your mythics, but then your mythics, you have mythic 0. Then you have mythic 1, 2, 3, 4, and it just goes on up until I think the highest completed mythic key ever was mythic 26. So yeah, but these guys were just pushing mythic keys of like level 17 to 19 basically. Now, to put into perspective, I think it took me 43 minutes just to complete a mythic 11 back in the days where I had a lot of time to farm and pretty much be geared up to be very strong. But now you have all these teams completing them higher keys even in such short amount of time, which is incredible. So yeah, anyways, in the past episodes, we have been telling you guys that it's been going on, and we've finally reached the end of Group A and Group B qualifications. So the finalists are, we have Mandatory, we have Stamp, we have ESC Gaming, so Escape Gaming. We have No Speaky, we have Phoenix Gang, Media, and Streamer Zone GG. So we are pretty much, we've pretty much said goodbye to teams like Ficky Knights, Cinema, Cinema pretty much, they really did well, as well as we said goodbye to a lot of teams, man. I'm trying to remember from what I raised last week. But anyways, listen to the episode from last week, the one before this, to get more of the other teams that took place in Group A. So yeah, now that we have the finalists, February 14th will be the final run through. So those teams that I mentioned, those 6 teams, they will face off each other to see who can complete the raids the dungeons the quickest. So how it usually runs, usually in the finals, as well as throughout the entire MDI, is there will be 3 maps that all the teams can pretty much choose. One gets to be banned, and then the other 2 must be played by all the teams. And then it's just a matter of who can complete which one's fastest. And for every time that you die, 5 seconds gets added on to your timer. So yeah, like it's really intense in terms of that. But yeah, absolutely love the game. World of Warcraft. I love seeing the competitive side of it. I haven't played World of Warcraft since I think October of 2024. Same thing Kojo mentioned, is just the subscription is just too intense within my country. So if in the event I ever go back, the thing that I'm going to do is not Mythic Dungeons, but rather Battlegrounds. So we will be having World of Warcraft arenas, arena championship starting next week, Tuesday, which is the 18th of Feb. So I will be giving feedback with regards to that, which teams are going to be running. So the difference between Battlegrounds and Dungeons is you are up against NPCs completely, whereas in Battlegrounds it's PvP. So that's going to be flipping fun. Anyways, that's it for my esports news. Kojo, any esports from you?
One. And it's for you, Tommy.
Love it.
So, League of Legends.
Oh yes, okay.
Everybody knows it. Everybody loves it.
Debatable.
Yeah. And you speaking facts. And so the LCK, which is the League of Legends Championships Korea Cup playoffs, have started. And as of the recording of this episode. I believe only one match has happened so far, and that is between Hanwha Life Esports and T1, and they faced off, and they went to a final 5th match. Guess who won?
I want to say Hanwha.
They did win, yes.
Okay, nice.
So Hanwha won, unfortunately knocking out everybody's favorite team, T1.
Wait, knockout like complete?
Well, that's what it says here, that they've been kicked out of the playoff race.
Oh, okay, okay, never mind. Okay. Whew.
I don't know if they've been kicked out of the LCK or they just this playoff, whatever.
Nah, so the playoffs usually will determine your entrance into MSI, as well as they still have one more playoff, one more seasonal playoff they need to do. But this first knockout, if they get another knockout in the next playoffs, they're not going to make World Championships. So that's pretty big. But yeah.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Thank you for clearing that up. But yeah, that's it. That's all I just wanted to point out. That's it for my esports news.
Jeez, and just to think, even last season, Hanwha Gaming really showed flames. To a point where I think T1 was losing on purpose just to see how Hanwha plays, and then just absolutely dominated them going forward. So yeah, that's always just interesting. And now that they're doing the exact same process now is also amazing. So yeah. But anyways, wait, bro, thanks. Yeah, nothing more from my side, which then brings us to the end of the episode. And we do hope you guys loved it. And if you did, please leave a like and subscribe. Once again, it really helps us to also bring this content to you. Be sure to check the streams every Sundays as well. If you're keen, if you miss out on it, don't worry. The streams are posted to our YouTube page, where you can catch all the goodness and the vibes there, completely unedited and raw. But yeah, we're going to be leaving it there. Thank you so much once again. And we'll check you guys in the next episode. Stay good, play clean, and Kingdom Come Deliverance. Peace out.